non-stop rock talk with Tyson Bryden. Welcome to Non-Stop Rock Talk. I'm your host, Tyson Bryden, and today we're welcomed by none other than the infamous Rick Ruhl of EMN, or otherwise known as Every Mother's Nightmare. Rick, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing, brother?
I'm very well, thank you. Now, Rick, EMN just released the latest album, Resurrect the Faithful, back in October. What can you tell me about this release in comparison to previous album? What was kind of the mindset going into this album?
The whole man, it was just the timing was with COVID was terrible, but everything else was perfect. I just got Alan Bone in the band on drums, and me and him were really similar on the things that we think about in timing and stuff. But when we started this record, I set everybody down. I said, I don't want to do another, this this is four other different guys, in this band.
Yeah.
I just wanted to come at it from everything as little as the drum fills coming in the songs, how many times we do choruses, three passes, and just doing stuff a little different, just a little more, make it a little more current, I've been doing it for a long time. But didn't want to, I didn't want any kind of I didn't want it to be called, hair metal or heavy metal or, grunge heavy or whatever. I just wanted, we wanted 10 or 11, 12 good songs that we felt good with in our gut. And that's what we just started calling it, gut rock and just straightforward rock and roll. And we really just wanted stuff that we liked, and we kind of, wanted to, show some of our influences in there. There's a lot of, you listen to this record, you can tell there's a lot of influences from, everybody's heroes growing up. And, that's kind of the mindset I was at. I just wanted I wanted it to be, EMN still, but I just wanted it to be definitely a progression. It had to be bigger, better, and and it had to come up to date. If we're going to sell.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. No, that's cool. So where was this album recorded?
Well, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. We had been riding on that little grind record for 3 years, and we came home and we were getting geared up to do to start writing and stuff and working on record. And right when it was right when the COVID thing just, it kind of started. You was hearing about it a little bit, and I just I don't even it just we wrote that record, and we just come in and wanted to go do it right here at the house. We they just happened to build the guy that produced the record, David Cowell, and he just happened to build a studio right behind my neighborhood, and they kept asking me to come down there and hang out with them and see the studio. And one night we went down there and just hung out, me and a friend of mine, and they were playing me stuff in there, and they turned around and said, if you do your next record here, it'll be this big, how it sounds, and it'll cost you this much money, a little bit of money. I said, well, let's see. And, that I wanted to work with David Cal for a while, because he's got his finger on the pulse of what's happening. And, we went down there, and Breathe was probably the last song that we wrote, but it was the first song we recorded. We kind of a test song with them, and it kind of just, if it didn't work, sometimes you can't work with people. And I loved it when it came back, after we went down there and tweaked on it, and I got to see how his producer, how it went. And man, it just turned out really good. It was still me, it was still EMN, but it was where I wanted to go. I feel it had to go that way for us to, to stay alive, really.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Now, you just mentioned Memphis. Right. Tongue-tied tonight. You just mentioned Memphis. I was in Memphis twice in 2019. I have to say I love the city. That's probably why I came back the second time. It's got a great vibe. Both times I met up with Todd Poole of Roxy Blue.
Right.
I have to give it a shout out to Todd, because he's a crazy motherfucker.
I've right. Ever, yeah.
Yeah, the first trip, Todd met my wife and I at Silky O'Sullivan's.
Right.
He just came in for a few beers, and we had actually never met before, and we had just talked, and he came down, and we had, and, we had a good time, and it was great.
Yeah, Todd's good people.
But
Yeah, very good.
oh, that he is for sure. He is a very good person. I think he's going to be on the show again. He was on last year. I think he's going to come on again next month. I was just talking to him.
Yeah.
So. But seriously, being from Memphis. Oh, sorry.
I said I hope he gets another good shot because he's a great songwriter, man, good singer. He's good. I hope he gets another good shot where he can get some stuff out.
Yeah, because the Roxy Blue self-titled album was so good.
Right.
It was a very good album. I really, really liked it. I don't know if it was the fact that people couldn't accept that it didn't sound like Roxy Blue from before. He kind of touched on that.
That's a hard thing to do, man. That's why, we've been progressively doing it over the years, and it's that's a hard one to pull over, but we just try to tell all of our fans that's been around since day one, you got to grow, you got to push the wall, and it's definitely hard though, because you get a lot of backlash if you get too crazy and go too left field, but.
Yeah, I think, you guys haven't really gone left field. Listening to the album, it still sounds like Every Mother's Nightmare.
Right.
It doesn't sound exactly like it did back in the late 80s, early 90s, but it still sounds like EMN, right?
Right. So for gold.
Yeah, no, it's a really good album. I've listened to it a few times, and I'm really digging it. So, but getting back to Memphis, how do you think that impacts your music? Do you think it has any relevance to your sound?
Oh yeah, man. I'm actually from Knoxville, and then I moved to Nashville, and I kind of just worked my way down here. But yeah, man, as soon as I got here, I just stayed. I came here, and I've been here ever since. The people, when I first got here, all the bands like Tortora and Roxy and Lord Tracy, all that, them bands. We were all friends. We all helped each other, with showcases and stuff like that. And the music vibe and the people down here are, it's a music town. You used to go out here on a Wednesday night and go to a club, and there'd be a great band playing and a lot of people in there hanging out and doing the thing. So yeah, it definitely makes it way more creative because everybody you meet here is, plays, and most of the people here do original stuff. So, that's the real cool thing is being in a group of a whole town of musicians that are all trying to create and do their thing, and it's very cool. There's a band called Fast Mothers that we play with a lot here. They're that same kind of thing, Definitely yes.
That's cool. I have to mention Manglewood Hall because that's the second time I was down was to see Tortora and Damon Johnson.
Right.
And
my boy.
Right. And yes, and I know you and Damon go way back. So when I had talked to Anthony Corder from Tortora, and he told me I had seen them in Detroit, and he told me they were doing this show, and I think it was between Christmas and New Year's, and I was like, man, I gotta go.
Right.
So I made the truck down, and that's where I ran into Todd, was at that show too. So great venue too, man.
Oh,
very great venue.
They've got in that same room on the other side. I think it's called 1869 or something like that. But it's just as cool as that. It's just about half the size of the big room. But yeah, that place has got that used to be our rehearsal room right there before you go into the big room. And, yeah, it's got a different.
Really? That's cool, man. That's very cool. Now for this album, for Resurrect the Faithful, from a marketing standpoint, what format is this one going to be available on? I know Grind did indeed get a vinyl release, which was really cool.
Right.
I have it. I love the green. I have to say.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, man, it's coming out. We're waiting on vinyl to get here right now, man. I can't wait I wait to see what it looks like because Bill hasn't really told us much about the different packaging on it, but I'm sure it's gonna be cool just to have a a vinyl record. Is a great thing. I'm glad it was slowly making a comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that one took a while for the of Grind. That vinyl took a while, and it was cool that you guys did two different covers. Like the CD's got a different cover than the vinyl did.
Right.
And that looks and that I remember when I got it when it came in the mail. I opened it up. I was like, I can't wait to see this. And then I opened it. And I was like, I was not disappointed. That green vinyl just looked so cool. It coincided so nicely with the cover, right?
Right.
Yeah, it was cool. Now, the last time we had spoken, Jim Fitz had rejoined the band, but he has since left. I know from talking to you in that last interview, Jim and you were lifelong friends.
Yeah.
So that kind of was difficult to see him leave again. But with all that said, kind of tell me about the lineup on this release. Who's doing what and whatnot.
Well, when Jim left, it was a lot of people wanted him to come back, and then he was wanting to come back, but he, it didn't work out. I was really mad at him for a minute. He jumped out on me on the worst time, but I still love him. I was there when his kids were born. I've known him. We used to race bicycles together when we were 15. So,
yeah.
But he opened the door because chemistry, doing this kind of thing. Chemistry is everything in my book. You got to have a really good chemistry. You got to have 4 or 5 guys with their head, all in the same direction. Their eye on the little prize or whatever. And he opened the door, and then, Alan Bone, I was desperate looking for a drummer because I had a bunch of shows, and they were coming up quick. And, a friend of mine down at this club, I just happened to call and talked to him, and I went down there and hung out with him for a minute, and Alan Bone was there, and we was talking about needing a drummer. They said, this is the guy you need, and I just... I invited him over to try out, and we had a couple other guys over here doing it. We had one guy that was working on one song. We'd been 3 days, and we haven't made it to the first song yet. And so Alan came in, and he came in, and he played 5 right off the bat. And this was probably within, just a day of talking to him, or a day or 3 or so. But and then we probably made it through 8 songs that night, and we threw about 3,000 more songs on him, and took him out and did some road shows, and then he just fell in. The chemistry with all 5 of us is beautiful. Him and Troy Fleming on bass. They have gelled so much, they have grown so much, and it's just they're putting a great foundation for us to just lay all this stuff on. I got Travis Butler and John Gunnery on guitar, and they're night and day from each other, but they play together very cool. The styles are, it's like, crazy swoopy marijuana guy, and then, you're straight up AC/DC, no frills, just, right at your gut rhythm. And then he's telling a bunch of lies over all of it.
That's cool. Now, when I listen to the new album, I think it's a little bit darker than Grind.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the track "Breathe." The album begins with "Breathe." It's a great opener. It's pretty heavy. The drums are just pounding. Now, what was your thinking lyrically on that track? From my perspective, is kind of getting away from something or someone. More or less, I gotta breathe.
It was kind of. Here's exactly what happened. We were in, we rehearsed. I got a studio in my house, and every time we're in there writing or playing, we got the record button on. But they started playing, the stuff, they started playing the music to it, and they were just doing that thing, boom now, and they started going around, and as soon as I hit the chorus part, the music just had me sitting there, and as soon as they hit it, breathe, jump, it just opens up. I gotta breathe, and
Yeah.
it just hit me like a ton of bricks, and it was pretty much we were starting to get locked down at that point in time. We were starting to have to stay in and watch what we were doing a little bit, and it was just and people were kind of freaked out, and it was just when they hit that, and I thought breathe, I was like, man, that's just a big word for a lot of things, get stuff off you want to take a breath, you want to get shit off your shoulders, it goes with everything. So, and I just set them down. I sat down in the floor and I said, here's where I'm at with this guy. It's just like he's sitting there, he takes a deep breath and he's just like, telling you, here's what's going on, I just, here, life beat me down. I just want to breath. I want to get out from under whoever's skin. It can be your drug skin. It can be work skin, woman skin, whatever it is. But, when the breathe word hit me, I was just like, wow, that's it's a beautiful thing when God does that to you. He'll give you a little something. And, that's exactly how the song came about. And I started telling the story. We're sitting in the floor and it just, it got put together, Like I said, that's the first song we recorded. And when I got it back, I was just digging it. It starts out, it's really not a big guitar riff. It's just a big, big old E, and, it felt like you were pinned up and you just need to get out and get a big breath of air.
That's cool. That's a good way to describe it. I think the first time I listened to it, I was like, okay, that's cool. I was listening to, how when you first listen to an album, like the first listen through, you're like, okay, I got to listen to it again because I need another.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's you're not used to it, right? So then the next time that song, it really caught my attention, right? I was like, oh, okay, lyrically, that's very cool. Good song. It's heavy. It's cool. That's a good starter. Now, then that goes into Here's to the One, which is the first single video. It is I'm assuming it's a dedication to the U.S. soldiers. I assume it's very patriotic. The video looks great.
The thing on that song came about in Texas. We were playing a show, and I'll make it short and sweet. But this guy hung out all day. We were playing at this club, and he hung out all day and just milled around and there for the show. Hung out after the show, wanted pictures, and all he wanted me to do was find his leg. He'd been over there, and he got hit. Good. He lost a leg. And, when I talked to him, we all talk bad and this and that, but he was over there. He's seen the shit. He's seen every day was life or death, and he's seen the real deal. And it just hit me. I'm from a military family. My mom, father, and his, they were all military people, but just meeting that guy and him hanging out, but coming to see us play and buying our stuff and wanting me to sign his leg, just really hit me. So I came home and I was hearing all these songs about, here's the ones that didn't make it home. And one thing he said, he goes, nobody cares what we do over there. Nobody cares about us when we come back and this and that. And I just thought it was kind of, them people, they watch our back. And I just thought it was kind of weird that they would think that. But I wanted to write a song so, y'all can come back. We still love you. And you can still do, you can live again. Or, no matter, it's just, I just wanted to say something to them dudes, because they do watch our back.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really cool, Rick. That's very cool. Now, Sin in My Heart.
Yeah.
I've always thought that lyrically you kind of push the album. You don't usually sing about hey baby stuff, like I can't think of a song where you've kind of sing like that, but it always seems to me like a more personal thing. And from describing the first two songs, I think that's true. What's the premise of that one?
Well, man, here's this whole album. When we were recording it, John chose every one of these songs. I said, I know you've been within 10 feet of everything that happened on these songs. And that was very cool because that's what everything we do, we live what we play and play what we live. And that's just all stuff. Sin in My Heart is sometimes Sin in My Heart was me waking up going, or just thinking about shit that I've done and go, man, I can't believe I did that. And then some of it,
I've done that many times.
Some of it's about my daughter, because she is me to a T, and she's just now turning 18, and she, she's the sin in my heart. And some of it's about, my relationship and my guys in my band's relationship, and it's just everybody's got them little things that they've done. They wish they wouldn't have done, or wish they had done better, or whatever. And I just, I went up to Troy and I said, man, I'm working on this song. And it's called Sin in My Heart. And he goes, man, you sold me on the name. We're good. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is a good title. Very good title.
It's real close to me, The lot of it, when I was making kind of fun, where it says, I know, I make no right when I say, what do you say, baby? Come on, you want to take a chance, try it? I was talking to my woman, because she used to look at me like I'm a fool all the time, but, what do you say, baby? Come on.
That's cool. Now the title track, Resurrect the Faithful, I think the faithful could be thought in many ways. The faithful could be the fan base, it could be your religion. Kind of what were you saying there?
Our fan base is our religion. What we do is our religion, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah. That's the song that beat me to death. I could not. Gunnar wrote the music for it, and we were, just working on the music, and Troy started chopping out the chorus. You want to change it and this and that, and it was making Gunnar mad, so I jumped on board and started messing with him too, and we started chopping it. Well, it turned out to be pretty cool, but I didn't work myself in the corner because it was just a kind of a weird little thing, and I couldn't write nothing to it. I couldn't even come up with melodies for it, and I kept pushing it to the end of the record, because we were going to call the record Pray before, and I went in and we started recording it, and I just, I don't never write nothing. I go in there and do it all off the cuff. I have ideas from us just rehearsing it and playing it and writing it, but I don't never write the lyrics, so I'm in there. That way it feels to me, it just kind of feels more spontaneous. And but that thing, I sang it, and I kept trying things, and it beat me up, man. I finally went out in the control room and said, man, it's not going to happen tonight. It's just, the words ain't coming, the feel ain't right. It's just not happening. And I went home, I said we're just going to shut down. And I went home, and me and my little boy were in there cooking Kraft macaroni and cheese, talking at the stove, just messing around. And we were talking about something, and we got on the subject of what we do, and he's younger, he's like 10, he's like we started talking about fans, and said something. He asked something about this, what's this new record going to do? And I said something like that, it's going to resurrect the faithful or something like that. We were just just bouncing around each other, and I was sitting there and I said, resurrect the faithful, and I started going, resurrect the faithful. And by the time our macaroni was done, we ate it. I done called them and said, hey man, I'm gonna come back down there. I'm gonna give this one more shot if everybody's still there and willing to do it. So I went down there, and with that in my head, and I dropped one line that I'd been trying to, keep in the song the whole time. I dropped it, I was just blurbing through it, and I dropped it, and it fell together, and every word, it just came out. And to me, the song was about, all the fans that have been there. And there's tons of fans that like rock and roll, AC/DC, whatever you want to call it. I just call it fans of music, and I'm just trying to do something different. And I want to resurrect the faithful and get them to. This is what rock and roll is: blue jeans, street, peanut butter, electric guitars, and whatever, cigarettes, beer, whatever you want, women. Just rock and roll.
Yeah, that is true. So somewhere, this is my analogy. Somewhere we got lost in the fray. Please explain what is the fray? Oh, and by the way, I love the epic guitar solo. It's long, but it really fits very well.
This thing, when I got this place I weld at, when we're not on the road stuff, I go do some welding and stuff, and they got these cables there, and they're real. I know you've seen them. They're like, I don't know. It's just like it's like 20 or 30 little bitty metal cables, and they twist them. And
okay,
but it's really strong cable stuff. But these things are really thin. They're you can put them through a straw, but they got these. When they get bent a certain way, they get these things. Right. These things that the metal breaks and it sticks out, and you slide your over it, and it's the worst feeling of something stabbing you. And it's we call them frays, and I was like, God, that's the same pain as your relationship dying or whatever. And I just started just trying to think on that. And when I started in the studio, I was just trying to think of things about relationships and stuff. Love stains that don't go away, just all that stuff, and the spray was a hurt, it's just anybody's lost somebody in a relationship that they really didn't want to lose it. That's a crazy hurt, It takes a long time to get away from it, and it's just man, when I done that when I found out what a fray was the hard way, I was like, I just wanted to put that word with something that somebody could identify it to, and that's how it came about. I just started thinking, while I was writing this record in my house, me and my daughter were fighting. Me and my woman were, pretty much on the out. So, that's where I was at too.
Yeah, and you mentioned the work thing. I'm just thinking about my work as well. Like a metal. We use metal slings at work, right?
Right.
Same thing. So you got. If that metal, if you overextend the weight on it, then it will the same thing. It'll fray like that as well.
Yeah, it's just a little bit, and it's awful, man. It hurts.
Yeah, those do hurt. That's right. You go and grab, you're like, oh no. If you're not wearing gloves or anything, right? So I totally get it. Now, you've included a new take on your 80s hit, Love Can Make You Blind.
Yeah.
What was the thinking in redoing this track? And I personally think it turned out really well. You've kind of changed your phrasing slightly.
Just a little.
Yeah, when you play this track live in the future, will you do this version or will you do the old one?
Well, that's one of the reasons, that we did that. First off, Alan Bone brought it up, a while back, right when we were, either right when we were starting recording or right before. He said something about doing it. And I was like, no, man, I don't want to I don't want people to think I'm trying to rehash something that I did or trying to, get the same kind of effect off that song again. I just wanted to, we've been playing, I'm the only guy left, so when we play, it's a little different anyway. And, all the songs that we do off the old records, we kind of vamp them up. They're still the same song. We just kind of, change them just a smidgen and, bring them up to par a little bit. And but this song here, I kind of wanted to do, that was how it all got started. And the more I thought about it, I didn't want to ask them and say, I didn't want to come in there like, this is my band and I want to do this song again and all that, because these guys are all equal with me on here. But I thought about it, and I was like, man, I'd really like to do, and I wanted Bill to put something there like, look, this is not a copy of this song or us trying to do this song or this and that. This band's interpretation of this song this is the way we do it live. This is the way you hear it live. And, when I did my first record, I played 13 shows. I had a handful of songs, didn't know what I was doing, and I had to live with that song. The recording of it, it's just raw, and it's just kids. Yeah. We didn't know what we were doing. We wanted a record deal, we just didn't know what to do with it. And I wanted to do it for me and for the fans and for the people that, could, might get turned on to it now. And, I just wanted to do a good one. Something that when I listen to it, I don't go, God, I wish I would have done that different or this or that. I just wanted to be comfortable with it and get it and let it live in my skin like a long time I didn't. That's one of the songs when you have to play it from the time it comes out to the day you die, anytime you're playing it. So there was a long time where I didn't like playing it. I was trying not to play it. And I just thought that's, I was sitting one night and we played in Golden, Colorado. I said, man, I gave the song a bad rap. This song took me from living in a 10 by 20 store-all unit, peeing in a bottle and using the bathroom in a Mr. Winter's cup to, I got to go everywhere. I got to do meet and do everything that I ever thought about doing. So I just re-loved it and took it back into my arm and got back at one with it and changed it a little bit where I felt good with it and got Alan singing on it. And I was really happy. I love the solo now, man. They put that harmony part in there, and I always wanted that harmony thing to happen. How many times do you get to do that in this business? Do you get to do something over, and try to beat it or, just make it what you are or whatever. I just, that's it, man. There's a bunch of reasons, but, I feel good with it. The whole record and everything, the way it came together was the most organic thing I've ever done. And I just, is good.
It's funny because I'm up in Canada, and when that song originally came out, I never heard it. I don't think we got it up here. I'm not sure. I never heard it. The only reason I knew about it was because of Metal Edge.
Right.
Yeah. And, seeing you guys in Metal Edge. And then a few years later, I went into Toronto, I went downtown, and there was a Tower Records there, or it was HMV, it was one of those stores. And that's how I ended up getting the album. It was on import. I ended up buying it on import. Well, the CD at the time. And then I think the second album too wasn't released here, so I had to get that on import as well, and I had that shipped in, and this guy got it for me, which was cool. So
cool.
That's kind of how I became a fan.
Cool, thank you. I'm glad you're a fan. So them records.
Yeah, no, and you know what? It's funny. When I was in Memphis, I was like, I wonder if I can find used record shops and go into record shops, because I really wanted the first album on vinyl.
Right.
Well, I didn't find it in Memphis. That was my goal. Is I would love to go home with the first album on vinyl. But
yeah, call me, man. I'd have gave you one.
Oh man, well I got it. I got a copy. I got it on Discogs early last year, and I played the crap out of it. I don't think I listen to the CD anymore. It's always the vinyl now. I love it.
Man, the vinyl's just got them good noises in it, that gives it that lot.
That's the best. That's all I listen. I have a huge CD collection. Don't get me wrong. I'll throw them on if I don't have it on vinyl, but my preference is to play the vinyl. Yeah. I'd rather listen to that. So.
Yeah, if I'm sitting here at the house just hanging out, and I'd rather stick a record on, just let it go, That's
right.
That was one of the things that we wanted to do on this record too. You remember back when we would listen to records, at the end of songs they would jam a little bit, and their endings trail off, and and we really wanted to do that because nowadays everybody just 3.5 minutes, bam, you got a bam, bam, bam. You want the minutes you can get. And I'm like, man, I'd just rather have some good old stuff. My guys jam. They like to sit in there and jam, and without me hollering over them, and and I like to listen to it. So yeah, and I used to love.
Well, that. I mean, the one thing I really love about old albums is just like when there's talking at the beginning of the song and you hear the band and you hear stuff and then all of a sudden it goes into the song kind of thing, you know what I mean? And then they jam out. It's just, I don't know, that just adds a nice quality to it instead of having that 3 minutes of just the song. It's always cool to just hear this little banter back and forth, but that's,
alive.
you know.
You know, it gives it some kind of life where it's, you know, it's
yeah.
Thing. There's one on Unstained. I say this line in there, and they didn't know if I was going to say it or not, but I said it. And it's right on one of the down on now, and there's a break. And you can hear Dave Cal or Alan one in the control room. You can hear him go, "Oh!" And
that's cool. See, I love that stuff.
Right?
It's like I was listening to Kicks the other day on "Blow My Fuse," and they did like they remixed it.
Right.
And on "Blow My Fuse," they added a bunch of stuff at the beginning of it because he always says, Steve Whiteman always said, "Do it," but and then they went into the guitar riff. Well, they put more to it at the beginning, and I was like, "Oh man, it's just so cool to hear that."
Right.
Yeah, it was awesome.
This friend of ours, they'd come over and been listening to us rehearse on since the COVID thing, and that's what they said. But the cool thing about, well, you know, we're putting a little bit of these endings on here, but because when you come here live, that's all the endings. We got all different endings where all that stuff intertwines together, and it makes more sense live.
Yeah, I love that a lot. Now I wanted to ask about backtracks. What is the timeline on those tracks?
Man, that is most of those songs. Let me see what all those backtracks. Let me say Muddy Water and there's a couple of that was stuff right when the original band broke up. I think the first song that we had written for that, we were shopping this stuff to this guy Geffen in Nashville, and I'm thinking it was right after the second record. You know, we were writing for a third, and that was, you know, right around the time I think we were getting dropped. No, we had gotten dropped. We'd written 5 or 6 songs, and we kept sending them to Ariston, and all they wanted was, you know, even the record before, all they wanted was Another Love Can Make You Blind. Like, that came and gone, you know. That kind of thing was, you know, that was what you had to do in the 80s. But music got a lot more street and more real when, you know, the grunge thing hit. And but you know, that was right after the second record, so I want to say,
like 90. What, the second record came out, what, 93? 92, 93?
Yeah, it might be, you know, it was probably 95, maybe. So,
okay, cool.
Or in that.
Yeah, your voice.
Sure.
Your voice. What's that? Sorry.
It was definitely right in there, that 94, 95 area. Them are all the songs that we were just shopping, and then we started. You know, we did a couple of showcases and stuff, but you know, we started putting banjos and just real.
That's cool. I love it.
Stuff on there, and you know, it was just you know, it didn't work. The guy at Geffen, I sent him all the stuff. I sent him. God, I can't remember how many songs I sent him, but he goes, "I love it." I goes, "I just don't know what to do with it," because, you know, the next thing that came out was anything close to that was, you know, Zakk Wylde when he did Pride and Glory thing, you know.
Yeah. I have that on vinyl, actually.
Huh?
I have that Pride and Glory on vinyl. It's like a picture disc with the cows on it. I got it last year.
One of my favorite records in the whole wide world is one of my pillow records is Book of Shadows. You know, that's
yeah, I remember.
Great record.
That was a great record too. Now, we just discussed Wake Up Screaming, which, by the way, I remember when that came out and I got that, and I mentioned that I had gotten it on import. I thought it blew me away. I was like, to me, that was the direction that I wanted hard rock to go in.
Right.
was that type of sound. Because you guys were a little bit heavier than a lot of the other bands. You guys weren't like a thrash band, but you had a heavy vibe to you, right?
Right.
And I had always hoped that was, okay, this is where it's going to go. It's not going to be Nirvana. It's not going to be Pearl Jam. This is where hard rock's going to go. And
Right.
obviously that didn't happen, but that was always my feeling. But
Right.
I mean, there's some really hidden gems on that one, like Bang to the Bone, Breakdown, Crying Shame.
Yeah.
I think Breakdown is probably my favorite track on the album. It has cowbell. Everybody loves cowbell. And when I'm driving in my car, that one comes on, and it's just like, it just puts me in a great mood. And
Yo, finger at me.
oh man, it's such a good track.
I wrote that song with Honey.
What's your pardon, Rick?
I wrote that with Jack Honey and Vic Pepe, which they wrote with Bon Jovi. They did Hey Stupid with Alice Cooper, all kind of people.
Right.
And
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a killer tune. Now I know you have kind of mixed feelings on certain tracks on that album, but I mean, how do you feel about that album overall?
overall, that was the when the grunge thing was coming in. See, that's what we were. Our big fight with our record label was we were out on the road, playing, and we were watching it come in. That's why we were going in that direction, because that's the bands we were playing with. The opening bands and the the good the coming up bands in every town we went to. Especially we played right in the middle of hometown grunge central, and that's what was happening, and we were loving it, because one of my favorite things that happened out of that whole bunch of stuff is Alice in Chains.
Yes.
I that was my fight every time with Clive and them with the label. I was like, man, this is going here. It's not going back to, Love Can Make You Blind, and that had its time, music at that time, it kind of got washed, and I was part of it, it's just, they kept, doing it, and, it's just clones of this and that, and that was real, all that shit was real. Nirvana and Soundgarden and Chains and all that, man, that's real, and that's where music needed to go, in my book. And that was the fight. I was bright and dark. We're from Tennessee, so the Seattle scene and the Tennessee scene, I don't care what, it's going to be different. So
yeah, of course it is. But I mean, even if you think about the first two tracks on Wake Up Screaming, House of Pain and Closet Down the Hall, they're heavy, man.
Yeah,
those are heavy songs.
Right.
Like, I remember the first time I put it on, and I was like, what the hell is this, man? This is cool. I was like, it blew me away. The whole album blew me away, but those first two songs, hearing those, I was just like, wow, this is gonna do amazing. This is so good.
Right. We were hoping.
Oh man.
I tell you what happened though. The biggest thing happened on that deal was, when I did a compromise a little bit, and I kind of sold my soul a little bit. But when Clive asked us to do, what's his name, from Autograph, he wrote one. And,
Steve Plunkett, If I Had My Way.
Huh?
If I Had My Way.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was a couple other songs he asked us to do, and he offered us a little money, or just, if we did this, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be an ass, so I did it. And the thing is where we were writing and where those songs were in '83. If I had my way and all that stuff would have been, I just don't see how it could not have been a hit, but not when, Smells Like Teen Spirit and stuff's out and all that stuff, because they didn't change guards on us, man.
Yeah, was Slip and Fall another one of those tracks that they wanted you to do?
We recorded that song 29 times. We were acting like we couldn't play it. And I ended up doing it with Thompson Barbiero, and I just told him, man, we're going to do this, because I said, it's just not, it was almost too bubblegum for me. for World War at that point in time. That's how that's how them songs they got on there, and I always say, well, I caved in or whatever, but I tried it, and I won't try it no more.
So I take it those are songs you do not do live.
I haven't played Slip and Fall since the time I recorded it in studio. If I play, we used to play. We used to play a lot. I Hate Myself. We played a lot.
Yeah. That was a good song. I like that song actually. I do like that one.
I really like I Hate Myself. It was pretty cool. But
Already Gone's a great song.
That was as soft as we should have gone or needed to be, on that stuff at that point in time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, what is this, almost 28 years later or 29 years later, whatever it is? It's crazy.
Right.
And I'm still listening to it. Now I have to ask about the track Buried Half Alive. That was not on the album, but it's on the House of Pain EP.
Right.
Why was that one left off?
That was part of the session when I went over and was writing with Jack Pawnee and Vic Pepe. We recorded I don't know how many songs, and the label liked them and it was all good, but they didn't use some of them, and it's just I think it was pretty much I don't know if they were just fulfilling contract at that time or what, but we were doing a lot of cool things and trying to make it happen, and I loved writing with them guys. I learned a lot. Like I said, I'd done other than just banging around town. This band had played 13 shows, and we had a big old record deal. I was like, wow.
That's crazy, man. That's amazing. That's so unreal. I mean, Buried Half Alive, it's got a killer chorus.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great...
I love the song. And I don't know why they just used it for the EP, I've got that on the cassette tape, and I love that. That Buried Half Alive song was good.
Yeah.
That was...
And I mean...
The difference between those songs and the other songs is, I was in there writing with them, and we're putting our pieces in there. And just the other things that, I love Tobacco Road, but David Lee did it. I can't do it no better than he did it. And
great song.
Yeah, but it just wasn't time for Tobacco Road.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is. I mean, now, of course, I mean, on the first album, you guys did a great cover of Long Haired Country Boy, and it was really unfortunate to see the passing of Charlie Daniels last year.
He's a good cat. My uncle worked for him 29 years.
Wow. Man, I saw him at the Opry 4 years prior to his death.
Right.
And Dierks Bentley had to follow Charlie, and
Dierks
Bentley. What's that?
I said, that was going to be a tough road to hoe right there.
That's what he said. He said when they called me, had I known that I was following, he's like, oh, who am I following after I already agreed to it? And I was like, oh, shit.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it was very unfortunate that he passed. I mean, my whole life, my dad just passed away in July of 2020. And he was a big country music guy, and I grew up with The Devil Went Down to Georgia, so
right.
It was unfortunate.
Right.
But
very unfortunate, man.
Yeah, all the legends. I mean, all our legends as from us growing up are, they're slowly going.
Right.
Eddie Van Halen, for one. You know what I mean?
I've been doing a couple of. We did a Toys for Tots thing this Christmas for the kids around here, man, and there's a bunch of bands played it, but we all did Kiss songs.
Cool.
I started working up. There's like you said, most of our heroes that we grew up listening to, they're getting up there, and things are happening and catching up to them. But I started doing all these people that I love. Ended up we got a Kiss cover that we're going to go throw in the studio and do it, throw it, and some Alice Cooper stuff. Just different things, different bands that we dig, and I think we've been messing around with I heard it on the X, a ZZ Top song, and all kind of cool stuff. Just to have.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's very cool. So will you release that, or you're just doing it for yourselves? Like you're just going to go in and record it?
Yeah, we started playing "Come On and Love Me," that Kiss song, and we did it.
I love that song.
It just turned into something very nasty, and it was really good. So we're going to record it.
That's a killer song. That's off Dress to Kill. That's a great song.
Yeah, man, that what a great record,
It is. I mean, all those early Kiss records are all great.
Right, that was one of the things that changed me growing up. I seen that. Wow, my first record that I had was, "Welcome to My Nightmare," and then I started going through all the Kiss records. But I remember holding that record cover up, going, "Wow, man, look at these dudes! Look at this."
I know. I had an older brother. He was about 7 years older than me, and he's like, "You ever heard of Kiss?" I was like, "Who?" And then he showed me, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" And then I was hooked from there.
Right.
And and then it was Motley Crue on "Shit at the Devil." That that big look they had as well, and I was just mesmerized. Those two bands are what got me into hard music, into hard rock.
That's what Cooper definitely got me into. But I was lucky. I had my Uncle Jackie and Ricky. They all worked for. My Uncle Jackie worked for Charlie, and Ricky worked for Charlie, and everybody else. And then my one uncle is a drummer, and my other uncle he just liked good music, and he turned me on to, he'd leave and go do what he did all day, and I would get to operate his bedroom and his stereo.
Nice.
That's why I got turned on to Aerosmith rock, and Toys in the Attic, and I went from Toys in the Attic. I went from Donnie and Marie all the way around to Toys in the Attic to everything. My mom's a big music man. I grew up from bluegrass to the heaviest of heavy, and just love music. It's beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I was
things.
That it is, and I mean like I said, my dad listened to country, so I had that country element in the house, and then there's me with my hard rock, and he didn't really understand it, but
right. That rock and roll thing's just a fad, right?
Yeah,
gonna last.
Exactly. That's just it, man. Oh well, here we are now, but you know what? Rock and roll is still alive, so that's a good thing.
Alive and well, I say. Every play that's a beautiful thing to see people come out, and we're playing for a bunch of younger people that just getting turned on to us, and that's a cool thing too. Good music, good bands stand on their own. It took a long time for me to get this band where I'll go play with anybody now. The guys are tight, everybody's good, and it's a beautiful place. And seeing all these people come out still, the fans that have came and seen us all these years, and meeting all these new people, and it's a cool thing. I'm digging it. Music's in a pretty good spot right now in my book.
Well, I have not seen you. I have not seen Every Mother's Nightmare ever, so I have to get out at some point when we can see live music again.
Man, well, we started booking. I don't know how many times we started this, but we started booking a couple of weeks ago for July. And then they're saying that we're going to be open. So I got three outdoor festival things in July, and I had 6 overseas last year when this all happened, and not be out of the water. So I'm hoping July, but we've had a pile of dates come in, and then all of a sudden right before, we're supposed to play here in Memphis December 13th, I think it was, and it got canceled the day before, and then right after that, everything else canceled. So hopefully we'll get through this sooner or later. Sooner or later there's going to be a revolution going on.
Yeah, no kidding. You're right. We can't. I mean, we can't come across the border.
Right.
We can't drive across the border. The border's closed. So, I think you can fly in. I think.
Right.
I haven't flown in.
Where I live in Memphis, I'm kind of on the outskirts right now, but all of the little store that by in this corner where we all live, but I haven't worn a COVID mask, but maybe 2 or 3 times since this all went down, because our little store, we're way off and nowhere, and it's weird because you go somewhere else and everybody's like, I can't come in here without a mask, can't do this, do that. And then I had this one place I went to eat dinner, and I had to put a mask on to come to the door. And then when I come to the door and sit down, I could take the mask off. I said, what the shit does that make? How much sense does that make? Because if I got it before I came in, just me coming through the door ain't going to stop you from getting it when you tell me to take this stupid mask off.
It is a weird thing. I mean, I've been to restaurants and had to wear the mask going in, right. And as soon as you sit down, it comes off, right?
Right.
But I guess, I don't even know what to say about it.
It's just orange right now.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? This is the times right now. Hopefully it ends at some point.
I think it's bizarre because, I get out of my car, I'm a long-haired guy, got my chain wallet, and I look like I don't look normal, and I get to put a black mask on and walk into a store. I'm like, that's crazy.
First time ever, right?
You get shot for that shit.
It's like you can now go to the bank wearing a mask.
Right.
Right?
This was never allowed. What the hell's going on here?
It's friggin' nuts. Oh, well. Well, Rick, I really want to thank you, man. It was such a pleasure. It was great talking to you again. Well, and I wish you all the best with the release.
Well, thank you, man. We're really proud of it. We're happy as crud with it. So, man, just, we just want to thank everybody that came on to YouTube, man. We had, in 2 days, like 158,000 views on the free video. And, that was, if I was shooting for maybe 1,000 or 1,500. So I was very, very happy. And we just appreciate all the people that do that and come to this play. We really appreciate it.
That's awesome. And I'll be on the lookout for the album on vinyl. I'll be watching for that.
Tell you what, I've got your information now. When as soon as I got some, they're supposed to be here. Every time I talk to Bill, he says, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week.
Okay.
And I don't know why it takes so long to get them done, but I will shoot you one.
Oh man, that'd be so awesome.
Oh, we'll definitely do that.
Really pretty. That'd be so awesome, Rick. Thank you.
I don't know if it's green though.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just excited to hear the vinyl. I love the vinyl, so it's all good. Okay, man. Well, you have my info, and hopefully we'll be in touch again. And enjoy the rest of your night. And thank you again.
Thank you, sir. Hey, when you come to Memphis, okay.
Oh, I will. And Todd, and I'll be in touch with Todd too, so he'll know how to get. I have your phone number too. Is that your cell number?
Yeah.
Okay. You can accept text?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, holler. Okay. I'll be like, hey man. You'll be like, man, this guy's bothering me already.
I will, man. I will for sure. That's hopefully I'll be down there. Who knows this year?
Right.
For sure next year. So. Okay.
Be safe, brother.
Okay, man. Take care.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Can't believe what the eyes they see. The smell of flesh and fat things burning. Stand, fight, we build up fences. We stand up tall and we believe this way.